Park. Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News time, 6:36. It seems most Canadians are in no rush to return to normal life as the fight against COVID-19 rages on. 680's Jamie Pulfer is here live with the results of a new poll asking when emergency measures should be lifted.
Wake up here in this shit,
Catherine, there's been a lot of debate about when we should return to some semblance of normal, lifting these intense pandemic restrictions. A new Leger poll says many of us are willing to wait it out. 29% of Canadians saying the country should be free of any new cases for at least 2 weeks. Any workplace or leisure restrictions are lifted.
Hear the logic? Oh, if there's no cases for 2 weeks, it's done.
Many also
There's
optimistic
fucking 200 other countries out there stupid.
Where they are flattening the curve. Saskatchewan talking about reopening the economy. There's already a plan.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, it's all gonna be done in 2 weeks. No problems after 2 weeks. Sound like the retards at the corner store telling me they got what I need.
Open businesses and begin public venues. It will be done cautiously.
Premier Scott Moe says the current infection rate means the government can start thinking about how to lift some of the restrictions. Just 2 new cases there yesterday.
Stop enforcing them, stupid. Either everybody dies off and they start getting enforced, or
COVID-19 hotbeds.
We all come to an understanding that there's only 4 of us left, so we really don't need laws.
25,000 cases. Reporting live, Jamie Pulfer, 680 News.
680 News time, 6:37. U.S. President Trump spent part of his Monday news briefing defending himself against a report that he delayed the response and shutdowns at the beginning of the COVID-19
How did the president not get warned for 2 months after I did? What the fuck is up with that?
COVID-19 cases and a death toll nearing 24,000. ABC's Andy Fields in Washington.
In an extraordinary move, the president played video clips of various reporters and officials supporting him, and then had Dr. Anthony Fauci explain earlier lockdowns might have saved lives. Didn't mean the president wasn't following his advice.
Are you doing this voluntarily, or did the president?
I'm doing it. Everything I do is voluntarily. Please, don't even imply that.
The president pointing to his travel bans in January, but not answering questions for details on what he did from February to mid-March. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
The organization that oversees Toronto's Recovery Center for homeless residents diagnosed with COVID-19 says a major international group will help run the project. Inner City Health Associates says Doctors Without Borders will be involved in the 400-bed shelter. It says the organization has extensive experience in dealing with infectious disease outbreaks around the world. The shelter has yet to open to the city's homeless patients.
This is 680 News. One of the Maple Leafs' young stars is trying to help the COVID-19 relief effort. Fans can take part with hashtag Make an Assist. Our Simon Bennett explains.
One day we'll be able to watch him do what he does best again. Nylander to Marner and a shotgun! But for now, Mitch Marner is doing his part and would love your help. Introducing the Marner hashtag Make an Assist pandemic relief campaign that works using your mobile phone. Using the Give Some platform, you can donate donations of $2, $5, or $10 are entered into a draw.
We fixed this messaging system for the government. Go NHL. I would watch your shit. No, you're trying to use the same service the government cannot make work. You dumb motherfuckers.
Responders, just look out for the hashtag Make It Assist. The draw runs until
and that's a message on a broken platform with the hashtag. Don't connect to nothing, and you might win.
We'll have traffic and weather together.
680 News.
They just ran that 30 fucking seconds, 60 seconds of.
Catholic secondary teachers of different fields.
If I want to advertise my crack cocaine business, I got to come up with a stack of money for them to do that.
Clubs or sports teams to support them. That's why Kids
I'm up for like
there, offering young
20 minutes, pissed off.
Non-judgmental.
Oh, I didn't wake up pissed off. I'm listening to this for 20 minutes now. I'm pissed off.
The need is greater than
oh, the TD Bank changed the exchange rate yesterday somehow. No, they didn't. The Canadian government, $5 billion, could not change the exchange rate. TD Bank can do it, dog. How much money did you pay to advertise in the business section, TD Bank? By the way, how come every time I make a withdrawal, you steal my pennies? I didn't look at me dirty. How's that branch doing? They're not doing so good, eh? If I can't trust you with pennies, I don't bring you C-notes. I told you that.
Co-founder of the
I wasn't joking, was I?
We're taking every possible precaution to keep you safe.
Oh yeah, we all used to bank at that branch. Now nobody does.
Elective surgery
Not
for
our
the
money
time
you're stealing
being.
anymore.
However, we remain available online and by phone to keep you fully informed about our refractive cataract and laser vision correction services, and to schedule and reschedule your Herzig appointments. Google high definition vision and sign up for my blog so we can stay connected. Look after yourself.
And one nice thing about this weed, it's very strong. I don't need to roll a big fat joint.
Craft beer and sensory expert Mirella Amato.
And I'm chef activist Joshua Maharaj. Frequency Podcast Network presents Hot Plate, your post-foodie podcast.
Join us, your contemporary food culture critics and hosts of Hot Plate.
We'll aim
You guys are going to be eating
with your
cockroaches.
food.
And your drink.
Hot Plate. Listen and subscribe for free with your podcast player and at frequencypodcastnetwork.com. Find your frequency.
680 News Time, 641.
Time for 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones for CIBC. Up we go to Chopper 680. Here's
Take New York.
I am happy to report this issue on the turnabout
Everybody
QEW
west
east
up.
of Fairview, or rather I should say east of Brant, is completely cleared up, and the Brant ramp to the eastbound QEW has opened up completely. It's still busy turnabout on the QEW east of
Outbreaks
Fairview. Right on
everywhere.
as you go into Burlington, that should ease up soon as everything is now open. From the 680 Traffic Center, here's Eva Francescatos.
We don't have much else happening right now. If you're east on the 401 approaching Meadowvale, the transfer lanes to the collector still closed off for construction. And approaching Meadowvale and the collectors, we've got the two left lanes closed off. That again is all because of construction. But again, there's no delay as you make your way through there. It pays to open a CIBC Smart account, earn $300 and pay no monthly fee for up to 12 months when you open a new account. Conditions apply. Next report of that 651. Here's the forecast with Jill Taylor. Well, we're in good shape right now, but don't be surprised by some snow
We're in
flurries
good
later
shape.
today. The possibility of some showers as well, and it's still quite breezy.
Rain it all the way.
Southwest wind will be gusty today. The guaranteed high only 6 degrees though. Drop to -2 for the low. Partly cloudy tonight. It'll feel like -7 and just 5 degrees for the high tomorrow with some sun and cloud. Right now it feels like -5.
The more we
It's
get
mainly
into
clear,
summer, the
-1
colder
at
it's gonna
Pearson,
get.
+1
Thank you.
and clear at 680 News.
Let's forget.
Our guaranteed high today 6.
680 News Time, 643.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Apple at the 680 Business Center.
Well, good morning. We're looking at a pretty good start here for the markets. Overseas, we had a rally in
The
the Asia
markets.
Pacific trade overnight with some better than
Not
forecast
just
trade
a
statistics in
market,
from
some
China.
markets.
The
The
Tokyo Nikkei
markets.
Japan's benchmark added 3.1%. That has been moving higher ever since last week's government stimulus efforts were announced to the tune of about $1 trillion US. The
You say
European markets
Asian
up
tiger.
on average by about 1%, and the Dow futures contract up by about 300 points. Johnson & Johnson just
It's
reported
great, like a
quarterly
storm
results.
drain. Oh.
Netflix. Close to a 2-year high to start the day in pre-market action. We have the Canadian dollar at almost 72 cents. It jumped yesterday, holding steady so far this morning. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
In times like these, we could all use
Tell them what you said about
especially when it
TD,
comes
you
to
pussy. Say it again when they're listening, you
Now more
pussy.
than ever, speak to a financial advisor and learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Oh, $3 billion bond offering changed the exchange rate. No, it didn't.
Can break the internet. State of the Blaze is home. The Nova Scotia Premier has gone viral.
680 News Time, 644.
You suffer from anxiety and depression
You're
during
on
this
an S?
pandemic,
We are on
and
an
now your
S,
claim for
nigga.
disability is denied. My
Making
name is
this
Aaron
up there,
Waxman,
bro.
And during this pandemic, we are open and working
1974,
for our
RCMP
clients from our
officers forced
homes.
to dig their own
If your
graves.
disability
New
claim is
Brunswick.
denied for any reason,
Oh,
Call me at
you're on the East Coast
416-661-4878.
spread.
4878.
You're on the East Coast. You're the fifth fucking national government to claim to run Nova Scotia.
That there are no bad questions.
In that time, we've extended our territory.
4878.
Doubled it, nigga. Look how far fucking west I am. I ain't supposed to be out here.
COVID-19 can be deadly.
You're on
Everyone
things, eh?
must do their part to
Brother,
stop
you're
the
funny.
spread of
You
COVID-19.
make me laugh. Let them make me laugh. You need a t-shirt or something, bro.
Advice can have devastating effects. And family, your friends, and your neighbors. So do your part. Don't risk becoming a spreader. Stay home and save lives.
You're gonna
For
spread your
information, visit
thing.
ontario.ca/coronavirus. Paid for by the Government of Ontario. This is All News Radio. 680
Nova
News.
Scotia
It's a
are
clear sky,
not
+1
seeing.
in downtown
We
Toronto.
are on
Good
Nova
morning
Scotia.
from the 680 News
60%
Broadcast Center.
of Canadian
I'm
Forces
Catherine
assets
Kay.
are in Nova
Top
Scotia.
stories this Tuesday morning.
Toronto
I don't know
Public
why.
Health has been called into a nursing home in Etobicoke hit by a deadly outbreak of COVID-19.
You're on Nova
25
Scotia,
residents
eh? Go
at
back
Eagle
to
Care
fucking
Center have
old
died so far.
Scotia,
Many
eh?
others are
Didn't the
sick.
Scottish name
4
that?
more weeks
Or was it
after
the
federal
British?
emergency
Nova.
measures, a few MPPs
You don't
were
run
joined
shit, white
between
boy.
up today to pass
Shut your
legislation
fucking mouth or I'll
extending the
sneeze
state of
on you.
emergency by 28 days. And still to come on 680 News, COVID-19 lockdowns
Yeah,
have
I'm
been
the
extended
Micmac you
in
could've
France
killed,
and
bitch.
India, a rising death toll in the UK,
And in Italy, where the virus has plateaued, life slowly getting back to normal.
Plateaued? Did he kill all the mafiosi? All them old motherfuckers that run everything?
Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here is Simon Bennett.
I'm worried about changes happening, huh?
Whether the NHL will return to finish
I wouldn't want to be the Italian president right now,
out of their control. Kings
he doesn't know whose ass to kiss.
Had a conference call yesterday saying it's hard for him to believe the NHL will be able to finish this season. Meanwhile, CNN's Anderson Cooper talked to Gary Bettman yesterday.
Hockey players, so dumb, they don't realize this applies to everybody. It includes hockey players.
Off the table at this point.
Hockey players are also not allowed to gather in public.
Cave in Battleford, Saskatchewan yesterday. Cars lined up along the highway for literally miles to greet family members as they returned home. Cave died over the weekend of a brain bleed at age 25. NBA news: the Chicago Bulls firing.
I'm sure the surgeon was certain. Oh, I can remove this cyst. No problem. I can remove this. No problem.
CFL fans would know he was a former Argo, most recently with Hamilton. Also played his university football at Western, and that's likely it for XFL 2.0. Days after laying off all its staff, the league filing for bankruptcy yesterday. Sports 50
again, companies failing to hit their target audience completely. I didn't know you were in business and you're out of business already, eh?
Hi, Tom Rokicki here of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. I am proud to be
in the 80s, I'd watch football, wrestling, whatever the fuck that is.
All of us are so lucky and blessed
What's
to be part
this?
of
It's
this
football wrestling. 1989 again?
At this time, I feel it is important to remind all our friends, family, and employees to keep an eye on one another, especially the most vulnerable. Let's also come together and support the heroes on the front lines. Together, we will get through this. Thank you.
Together. Fuck off, homo.
To be your favorite cop show. Oh, tell me everything. City TV's got your back.
All you white people super susceptible to this shit, obviously.
If you never listened to my podcast, Jake, Rosa, Terry, and the rest of the squad, keeping the streets safe. What's the worst thing that can happen? Fast-paced, street-smart comedy.
That's just blowing my mind. This disease is obviously geared to kill off white people, and they keep trying to scare me by under the breath and shit. I'm the one with my face covered and the cross on and shit, and you still trying to scare me with a disease I have and you don't have?
The UK, life in a former COVID-19 hotspot is showing signs of returning to normal. Our coverage of the pandemic continues with 680's Laura Carney, who joins us live with the latest international developments. Laura.
And Catherine, in France, President Emmanuel Macron has extended the lockdown until May 11th, at which time life will gradually start to get back to normal. Students will begin going back to school. Parents can start to go back to work.
Planes are going to start to bring in people with COVID. Oh, I didn't really think of outside borders, right? Stuff there is stuff outside your country, eh?
Bars, cafes, restaurants, museums, festivals, you name it. Any cultural events that involve large gatherings of people are canceled until at least mid-July.
The COVID-19 death toll in the UK now more than 11,000, and that number likely higher as deaths in nursing homes are reportedly being overlooked. The ever-increasing number of cases and deaths in Britain
they just explained it 30 seconds
measures this week. In Italy, where the virus has plateaued, life is slowly getting back to normal with the gradual reopening of businesses.
You only get counted as a COVID death if you get tested, test positive in hospital, then die.
It's not like they have freedom of movement of any kind. We just have more stores we can go to and queue in line for outside those stores. Their safety precautions are in place.
You refer to lineups as queues? You've lived your whole life in a consumer culture. Shut up.
The 21-day lockdown was to be lifted today, but the Prime Minister has extended it now until May 3rd. Reporting live, Laura Carney, 680 News.
A newly released email shows Canada's health minister gave the approval to donate personal protective equipment to China from the national emergency stockpile that was on the verge of expiring. The Toronto Star reports that email written January 31st by a senior member of the Public Health Agency of Canada indicates the health minister had offered to donate the supplies that were due to expire in February and March.
Yeah, you know why? Because we would have to burn them.
Officials were in a rush to nail down a decision so the supplies could be shipped via a flight chartered to repatriate Canadians stuck in Wuhan, the epicenter of the viral outbreak. It also stated the donation would not compromise Canadian supplies. The Conservatives have criticized the Liberal government for its donation.
About to expire. Like you!
650.
Northwood Mortgage people work harder to find solutions just for
I'm
you.
confused. Where's the controversy? We were sending a plane that we shouldn't have been sending anyway. We used one plane instead of two. We got rid of a bunch of masks. We gave them some masks. We got our people. I don't understand the controversy.
Create a solution that's customized for you.
That's how these people are. Oh, I'm reading somebody else's email. Check this out. Nothing in it, but just because it's somebody else's email, it's special.
License 10349. Hey guys, it's never a good look.
In this second, I'm kind of hoping this virus wipes all these people out.
That's why Nantucket makes
We'll leave Canada closed. Canada's closed. Don't come here. What happened to Canada? Oh, they're doing fine.
50 fit combinations. So tall, short, slim.
You can't go there, but you can watch them on the internet.
While our stores are temporarily closed, please go to untuckit.ca where you can browse.
You have stores? Are there stores just full of these shirts?
Off your entire first purchase. Untuckit.ca. Promo code Canada.
You guys showing up in shorts, no shirt. I need a dress shirt, bro. Nah, they tried giving me a t-shirt at the other store. It's not cool. I need a dress shirt. I'm not tucking it in. As you can see, I'm wearing shorts. Is there like a fucking crew of these guys out there? Get a damn polo shirt. Looks like a dress shirt, almost like fancy. It's got buttons.
Luckily means that there's not a major issue here. Now it looks like there's no major damage to any of the buildings as well, so this may not be closed for much longer. We still have a lot of crews on scene. Again, that's Caledonia shut down from Lawrence to Marcia. I'm on route to Kipling and Rathburn. Northbound Kipling and Rathburn was down to a single lane, all because of a broken water main. Check if that's still the case. From the 680 Traffic Center, here is Eva Francescatos.
And we just have construction eastbound 401 approaching Meadowvale. The transfer lanes to the collectors closed off, and approaching Meadowvale in the collectors, 2 left lanes also closed for construction. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse would like to wish their guests the very best at this difficult time, and also remind you that takeout and delivery service are now available online. Place your order at ruthschris.ca. Next report is at 7:01. Here's a check on the extended forecast with Jill Taylor.
Well, it's clear and cool now, but flurries or showers in the forecast for later today are guaranteed high just 6 degrees, and the wind will be quite gusty out of the southwest, so it'll feel cooler. You need some extra layers today if you have to head out. Tonight, partly cloudy, -2. It'll feel like -7. And tomorrow, sunshine to start, then mainly cloudy, and the high only 5 degrees. 6 on Thursday as well, partly cloudy and windy. So we're in for a cool and unsettled stretch. Right now, it feels like -5. It's mainly clear, -1 at Pearson, +1 at 680 News. Our guaranteed high, just 6 degrees. Coming up at 7 o'clock, we'll take you live to Etobicoke, where 25 residents of a single nursing home have died of COVID-19.
We're going to take you live to where all the dead people are. Don't worry, they were old.
With the CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite card every time, with no limit on how much you can earn. You even earn on your monthly subscriptions. And when it comes to those necessary purchases like gas and groceries, you get 4% cash back on eligible purchases. 4%. Plus, right now, your first year's annual fee is on us. Don't just spend, earn. The CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite card. Conditions apply. Learn more at CIBC.com/cashback.
680 News. Listen on the go with the Radio Player Canada app.
Download now on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather.
No matter where you are.
With the Radio Player Canada app. And 680 News.
We've heard the Prime Minister, the Premier, and the Mayor all tell us to stay home during the COVID-19 pandemic. But the Premier of Nova Scotia had a different message for people living there.
Or something?
And it's prompted a whole movement. Our Jennifer Homan has the details.
Yeah, we do those on the spot, bro.
We've been polite, asking people to stay home.
Get the fuck off my fucking land, pussy.
Was a little more firm.
When all we have to do is stay the blazes home.
What a statement. Stay the blazes home. And you know what a phrase like that means?
You go home.
Stay the blazes home. Stay the blazes home. Think about the common good. Stay the blazes home.
Yeah, the Premier's comments on physical distancing now all over YouTube.
Stay the blazes home.
And
fucking white people, man. Do your thing, make your music. Don't expect me to fucking vibe to it. It ain't gonna happen. White boy, whatever the fuck your name is, Rachel Notley or whatever the fuck. Go the fuck home. You see that ocean you live next to? Go over it. Oh. Move your shit. We got Norse coming through. Norse and Jamaicans and Egyptians coming through any day now. And your fucking crap is in the way, white boy.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
Donate your buddy's shit today.
Motorcycles, RVs, and truck donations.
Yeah, we gotta do that. We gotta do that this year where we can get away with it.
We think so. That's why
Time will come when we'll be able to get away
you
with
get
it.
no-fee checking accounts. You also get high interest on deposits and investments.
Who do I know I
and
dislike?
low
That
mortgage
owns a
rates.
car.
Plus,
You gotta
you
have
get to share in the
both
profits.
characteristics.
That's the
I
Duca
know a few
difference.
people with cars.
And
They
now
don't do
we're
nothing to
offering
me.
2.5%
No, a few
interest on your
idiots. They
savings
don't own
until
no
March
car.
31st, 2021. Find out how at
You got the makings of a wonderful practical
Do
joke
more,
here.
be more, achieve more with Duca Credit Union. Conditions
Yeah,
apply.
Bob, your motorcycle caught COVID, so I donated it to the kids.
Business report. Here is Mike Apple.
Catherine, we've got a real estate forecast in this morning from Royal LePage, one of the biggest players in the Canadian market, and they're looking over what happened in the first quarter of the year and then trying to do sort of a best guess.
Somebody took a shit and it blew up all over the world.
For a real estate price scenario, and as you might expect, with the great unknown being how long these strict restrictions on stay-at-home
I can't believe how bad my
activity
stomach
will
is.
be going
It's a
on
stupid
for.
fucking wing. It's only on one side. If it was on both sides, I could rock it.
Prices may do over the course of this year. If the stay-at-home restrictions are lifted in the second quarter, then you're looking at the possibility of a modest 1% gain overall for real estate prices across the country this year.
They're still looking at it. We can get extra 1% this year.
Will drop by about 3%. And again, this is a nationwide forecast. They go into the various
Yes,
cities as well.
but you're not sampling the actual sales that would have happened naturally because half them people are dead or not selling right now.
Shut down the
People
economy,
buying ain't
layoffs
buying right
driving
now.
to
You
high levels
cocksucker.
of
You
unemployment across the
cocksucker.
country, skewing primarily to younger and part-time workers. At the same time, though, with all the pent-up demand in the first couple of months of this year and prices going well over asking, there was so much activity that, again, the real estate market may show remarkable resilience, according to
That's what I do to things that bother me.
just because
I kill them.
of very low mortgage prices, and again, all that pent-up demand that was prior to the pandemic. Markets are showing overall a pretty solid performance here for stocks this morning as we're just looking over the latest earnings from JP Morgan Chase, a big U.S. bank kicking off the quarterly earnings season. And again, it's all about the forward guidance from these companies. And they're basically saying it's difficult to say how things are going to go here. We've also got Johnson & Johnson in with earnings. The Dow futures currently up by a little less than 300 points. So markets showing some resilience in the early going this morning. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
On April 19th, the Today Showstopper at TSC will be the 9.7-inch Apple iPad with your choice of 32 or 128 gigs of memory, plus 3 years tech support. You'll work, play, learn, and create like never before with add-ons like a Bluetooth keyboard, stylus pen, earbuds.
Because I need something small but big.
Watch for this exclusive
Portable
TSC
but doesn't
bundle
fit
on
in my
April
bag.
19th,
That's what I
but it's
need.
the Today Showstopper. Shop TSC.ca. Today's shopping choice.
It's one big prize after another in the Princess Margaret Home Lottery. Enjoy living in this $1.6 million Upper Beaches grand prize. It comes fully furnished, professionally decorated, and with
They're referring
$25,000
to
cash.
Danforth and Clarksville as Upper
$6.8
Beaches
million grand prize.
on the
Prince
news
Edward County
the other
Country
day.
Home and our world famous Early Bird prize. Homes, cottages, condos, vacations, and more. Tickets at PrincessMargaretLotto.com.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
Walmart's Fight Hunger Spark Change campaign has proudly contributed more than 17 million meals for Food Banks Canada. Walmart thanks customers, associates, and suppliers for joining in the fight against hunger.
You got to stop using
In
that term
downtown
meal.
Toronto at Clear Sky
Because you're
Plus One,
telling me
680
how many
News is
calories
CMTR
I need.
AM Toronto at 7
Or
o'clock.
more than what the fucking government says.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Paul Cook and Catherine Jeté.
Good morning. This is Tuesday, the 14th of April.
Here's what's making news right now.
Over Over 24 residents in a long-term care facility in Etobicoke have died from COVID-19. Dozens more residents have tested positive for the virus. The facility is trying to contain the outbreak.
The Premier knows people are restless.
They're getting squirrely staying inside the house.
But he says it's necessary for the legislature to sit today to extend Ontario's state of emergency for another 28 days.
A new poll suggests most of us want to see significant progress in the fight against this virus before returning to work, as Saskatchewan becomes the first province to talk about reopening the economy.
Will the NHL be?
You don't have an economy. You grow grains, you dumb motherfuckers, and you try and sell uranium. You get shot for that.
Markets up, looking over Johnson &
yeah.
and JP Morgan Chase. Dow futures up nearly 300 points.
I live next door to the processing plant. My homeboys live next to the mine. We got you fucking on lock.
Brought to you by Roto-Rooter Emergency Services.
Don't slip.
Kurz Airborne and Shopper 680. Good morning, Jordan.
Good morning, Paul. Just flew back over Caledonia, south of Lawrence. Everything there is cleared away. Fireworks are gone. So
we stopped them completely from taking it out of the ground here. They go after the Oglala Sloops. The old guy.
Also flew over Kipling and Radford.
I know how to say the words. They don't matter. They go after the Magoon. Call it Goon. All about you, pussy.
Section of it blocked off now. Again, approaching Radford. So luckily, it's not causing major delays. Everything's lighter than usual right now.
The land is assigned in like 42. Then get surveyed to 46. Something like that.
To the collectors,
We know.
because of construction.
And they never got transferred. Funny, white people always talking about that. Why pay for my shit? Of course, I run the registry. All my shit's paid for. I run the registry, and none of your shit's paid for.
Drain plumbing or disinfection needs.
You ain't
Contact
paid
them
for it.
24/7 online at rotorooter.com. Next report is at 7:11.
Where are all these white people spitting the word white?
The key word
and
for us
fucking
today is unsettled.
acting
Don't
like
be surprised by
gangbangers
snow
over there,
flurries today. Looks
promoting
good
this
now,
whiteness
though. Right now it's
concept.
cold. Feels like
Flipping the fuck
-5.
go when
Mainly
they find
clear,
out that there's
-1
niggers that look white.
+1 and
They don't
clear.
like that at all. That
The
bothers them.
guaranteed high today, 6.
That bothers them like they went to take a piss and their dick was a pussy. Like this bothers
From
them.
Etobicoke, where Toronto Public Health is stepping in to help manage an outbreak of COVID-19 at a nursing home after 25
This is how you
residents
treat
died
your
of the
own
virus.
old people.
Six
Eh?
Cities Carl Hansky is outside the Eatonville Care Center on the East Mall near Burnhamthorpe and joins us live. Carl.
Again, 25 of the 247
Grandparents
residents in
taught
the
me
Eatonville
about
Care Center here
cholera.
on the East
So I'm
Mall
out here
died
cleaning
from
sewers. I give a
COVID-19.
fuck what the rest of you, because you're gonna fucking drain out them sewer drains.
Or displaying symptoms and are
Liquid,
awaiting test results.
basic,
This man's brother is a
basic,
resident here. He's
alkaline,
not sick now, but the concern
basic.
is
Use your
he won't
head.
get
It's all in the
sick because,
fucking music,
They
stupid.
got lung cancer.
Look, Little Caesars and
you
Detroit
got
Red Wings. What am I
problems,
fucking
72
talking
years
about
old.
now, eh?
I'm scared of you. This is gonna be a big problem.
A family member is not even allowed inside. They can only call for updates. On
You
how
didn't
the
go
health
visit
is
them
allowed.
ever.
Toronto Public Health is working
Now you
with
just want
the
pictures of you.
to try to manage
Look at me
this outbreak.
being denied.
Live at the Eatonville Long-Term Care Home in Etobicoke. Carl Hansky, 680 News.
On your
680 News
Facebook
Time,
or whatever.
7:04. Some MPPs are returning to Queen's Park today to extend the provincial state of emergency by another 4 weeks. Our Kevin Meisner's out.
Do it straight to the end of the year,
live
brother.
with the latest on the province's fight to flatten the coronavirus curve. Kevin.
Well, Paul, Premier Doug Ford says the only reason Ontario hasn't been dealt a massive spike in COVID-19 hospitalizations at this point is because the majority of people in the province are staying home and abiding by
The
physical
majority
distancing
are.
measures.
It's fucking
He says those
dummies.
restrictions are working, so they need to stay in place, even though it's difficult.
By the way,
People are just getting restless. They're getting squirrely
if
staying
you're
inside the house.
35% of the population, you're not a minority.
Difficult.
Shut up.
That's when we see
You're the biggest fucking group. You're not a minority.
biggest fear is all of a sudden
I'm not even
we get
talking
another
about white
wave, and it hits us.
Now, to keep MPPs 2 meters apart, only 28 members will be in the legislature here at Queen's Park today to extend the provincial state of emergency.
Which
for another
28? Oh, it doesn't
days.
matter,
Now, the
because
government
rubber
also
stamp
expected to
policy,
pass
rubber
5
stamp
other pieces of
policy, rubber
legislation,
stamp
including
policy.
whether municipalities should continue collecting development fees for idle construction projects and a suspension of OSAP student loan payments. Ontario continues to see.
Remember
new
the guys doing those
COVID-19
construction
cases, but the
projects
number is
are thinking
increasing
about this shit.
at a slightly slowing pace, and the number of patients with the virus in intensive care units and hospitals has remained relatively steady.
At Queens Park, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
We're going to be the ventilator supply company.
A new poll reveals most Canadians want to be sure the COVID-19 pandemic is well under control before emergency measures are lifted. 680's Jamie Pulver is here live with the numbers.
We'll kill this one too,
Catherine, many of us are in the long haul, willing to live under these massive life restrictions, including waiting to return to work until significant progress is made in the fight against the virus. A new Leger poll finds 29% of Canadians believe the country should be free of any new cases for at least 2 weeks before any restrictions are lifted. Just over 20%.
That's great. You got the opinion of a bunch of random people that read magazines
or whatever they do. Has been more successful in flattening the curve. In Saskatchewan, they're talking about a return to real life.
We are hopeful that we can continue to
because nobody goes to Saskatchewan. I think we just proved it.
To start to
what's COVID? Hey, do I need a pitch for it?
What? Only doing so with a very robust testing and contact
COVID.
COVID.
Need a new hand back.
About his province's numbers. Just 2 new cases reported yesterday.
Give cows
saying that 60% of those infected with the virus have now recovered.
I don't even want your Saskatchewan
if the
milk.
trend continues, he's expecting to release a reopen Saskatchewan plan next week. Across Canada, there are now more than 25,000 cases of COVID-19. The majority
a total of 4 people
Ontario.
in Saskatchewan. Not cases, just total.
680 News.
680 News Time 7:06. What will life look like after the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown? Faiza Amin of City News is speaking with Nick Mitchell, a Canadian living in China, about 800 kilometers from the epicenter of the virus, about his experience as the country starts to reopen.
The 31-year-old says with no infections in recent days, the government has relaxed measures. People going back to work, students getting ready to go back to school, and malls have reopened.
People are kind of living as normal, but the shadow of the epidemic is still on everybody.
His message to Canadians to hold on to hope and to one another, but most importantly, take the COVID-19 measures seriously.
Almost everybody really followed quarantine and social distancing, and it really works.
Still unknown how long these measures will be in place in Ontario and the rest of Canada.
Wuhan killed the virus. All you fucking smart motherfuckers ain't figured this out yet. Oh, them backwards broke ass, Chinese people doing this and that. Killed the fucking virus.
They'll be delivering. The team will start downtown this morning and make their way to
or if they didn't kill it completely, they're much closer than we are.
Markham Stouffville Hospital. Another shipment of 300,000 masks is expected in the next 10 to 14 days and will be distributed to all municipalities in the GTA.
Well, that's not enough.
This is 680 News. Well, even though he left the Raptors for the West Coast last summer, Masai Ujiri says he still has a great relationship with Kawhi Leonard. Our Simon Bennett says it's one of many nuggets shared by the Raptors in an extensive interview generating lots of social media buzz.
Masai Ujiri chatted with TNT's Ernie Johnson with the NBA's Twitter account with a special guest.
So this is the guy who's going to marry Kawhi Leonard's daughter someday,
I can park 8 trailers on the first level of my fucking parking garage, bro.
Ujiri talked about staying in touch with Kawhi even after he left for the Clippers.
With Kawhi, we just built a relationship where we trusted each other, and that friendship has evolved even bigger. I'm proud of that. I support him with everything he does as a human being, and you move on.
Very good.
Move on on to the next.
He also shared he was in tears both when he fired Dwayne Casey and told DeMar DeRozan he was traded. You can hear the whole interview on the NBA's Twitter page. I'm Simon Bennett.
680 News Time 7:09.
Coronavirus updates and breaking news.
All on the Be the First to Know newsletter.
Sign up now at 680news.com/newsletters.
Hey Toronto, this is Serge Ibaka. You've probably been hearing a lot about staying home recently. But how can you stay home if you don't have one? Fred Victor is helping the homeless during these difficult times, and they need your support now more than ever. Until April 30, the Serge Ibaka Foundation will match every donation up to $100,000. So help the homeless by donating
total
today
or each $100,000 donation? Think you a baller? I know some ballers, dog. They just ain't giving money to
for water main repairs in Brampton. Maine is closed from Archibald to Vaughan due to a collision.
680 News Time 7:10.
In times like these,
you should have talked about I'm killing bed bugs. They're not on me. They're on my fucking book.
You get no fee checking accounts.
You also get high interest on deposits and investments. And
There's
low
nothing on
mortgage
a book.
rates. Plus, you
Does
get to
anything
share
to
in
do
the
with blood or the
That's
smell
the
of a
big
human or
difference.
anything?
And now we're offering
It's street paper.
2.5% interest on your savings until March 31st, 2021. Find out how at
It's like they come into my house like,
earnmore.duca.com.
please, just kill us. We don't want to
Be
taste
more.
this junky
Achieve
shit no
more
more.
with Duca Credit
Every
Union.
time I try to eat, I'm
Conditions
getting
apply.
high.
Hi, I'm Cherry Tabb, co-founder of the
I think I have
Herzig
AIDS
Eye
and
Institute.
hepatitis. Just kill
In
me.
support of public health
I think
efforts,
that's why
we
they're
have put
coming in
a
here.
pause on elective
they're not.
surgery at our Toronto and Ottawa locations.
I know, because I
I
checked.
and my Herzig Eye Institute staff remain available to you online and by
Some
phone
mornings I
to
wake up,
schedule
there's like
future
100 of
appointments
them.
and to
It's
help you stay
weeks
up
at a
to
time,
date
there'll
and
be
safe.
zero.
Your health is what matters most
It's
to
not
us.
me infested.
Google high definition
Keep
vision
sort of
and
showing up.
sign up for my blog so we can stay connected.
Into the
Look
goddamn
after
holes in the wall.
yourself. Promise me.
6 City News Time, 7:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by WeCleanCovid19.ca. Airborne Shopper 680 Jordan.
Let me ask you something. You clean that COVID-19?
In the collectors, the
Yeah, I got that.
close up. They're picking
Want
up
some?
pylons right now. This will be out of here really soon. However, we still have the eastbound 401 transfer from Express to Collectors approaching Meadowdale closed off due to construction. That doesn't look like it's going to be clearing up soon, but they might be starting on clearing that once they're done with the collector construction. They haven't started yet. So that's it for construction on the 401 and no delays. From the 680 traffic center, here is Eva Francescatos.
If you're eastbound on the 403 at York, the right lane still closed for construction. Westbound QEW at Winston Churchill, the left lane is closed, and that is all because of construction. And in Brampton, we've got Main Street between Vaughan and Archibald still shut down. That's all because of a collision investigation, so keep an eye out for that. Avoid it if you can. Essential and non-essential services, realtors and builders ensure that your clients are confident that your space is COVID-19 virus and pathogen free. Guaranteed with WeCleanCovid19.ca. Book today at WeCleanCovid19.ca. Next report is at 7:21. Here's a check on the forecast with Jill Taylor.
And it looks like we're having some trouble reaching Jill there. Also had a little cameo from, I think, Eva's kids in the background of that report. But taking a look at Jill's forecast, we're in for a mainly cloudy day. Just a few sunny breaks, a chance.
They're working from home, man. Oh, they don't say that every fucking time. You know what I'm doing?
Right now
Motherfuckers, welcome to my world.
Mostly cloudy, -1. Downtown, it's a clear sky and +1.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Apple at the 680
pieces
News
delivered
Business
to
Center.
you.
Mike.
Hey, Catherine, right now we're looking at futures up and markets higher across the
Everything
board
you need
overseas.
without even
Earnings
leaving
just
your
coming
block.
in from JP
Really?
Morgan Chase, one of
I
the
get uranium on my
biggest
block.
players in the
You
U.S.
get
financial
uranium?
system.
I
They
get
were
uranium.
below forecast on
Fucking apple
profit and
juice
sales.
on the same
But,
goddamn block.
the
And
share
the
price
apple
of
juice
JP Morgan Chase
is
is on
separate
the
from
rise
uranium,
because
just like the
they've
coconut weed
topped
back in the day.
expectations on
Totally
certain
sealed.
metrics.
No
How
uranium.
they're going to do any
I think I'm joking,
here is beyond me, but nevertheless, we're watching that one to the increase this morning, and Johnson & Johnson also starting to climb here on its earnings update. Dow futures up 300 points.
All right,
So it's been
Wikipedia.
consistent.
I'm
A gain of
sorry.
1
I
and
was
4%
hanging
on
out with
blue chips.
Google.
We've got
I
price
need
for
something
oil
from you.
sliding further down 42 cents, 2%. Gold is gaining a dime at $17.61 an ounce at the Business Center. I'm Mike Apple.
Research shows that investors who work with an advisor accumulate
Oh, you guys are like,
3.9
oh,
times
the
more
gold
assets
is
than
up.
those who
I'm buying
don't.
gold. Gold
Advice
is up.
matters.
No, the
Now
dollar
more than
is
ever.
down.
Learn more at dynamic.ca/advice. Still ahead on 680 News.
Hashtag once things get back to normal. Trending
So,
on social media and
we went from
allowing us
1600 to
to dream.
1750 on the gold.
680 News Time, 7:14.
The Salvation Army thanks its
We went from
frontline personnel and volunteers.
like
who are working
75 cents
tirelessly
to
provide
72
essential
cents on the
services to the
Canadian dollar
vulnerable
to the
during
US dollar. Who lost
COVID-19.
more? Who lost
As this
more?
pandemic continues
wasn't
to
the
impact
Canadian
our
dollar.
communities across the nation.
Oh,
The
that
Salvation
hurts.
Army is adjusting its
Oh,
programs
the price
and
of our
services
oil
to bring
sucks.
help
But what
and
they've been
hope
arguing about
to
for
those who need
years,
it
it's a
most.
very small
Join
amount of
us
oil
and
in the
support
total
our
market.
neighbors in need.
So it doesn't
To donate,
matter.
Visit
You give it away, it still wouldn't
salvationarmy.ca
matter. There's
or
not
call
enough of it to make a
1-800
difference.
Sell Army. Introducing Irwin's new Command Lock Take measures, built for extra control with a finger brick, up to 14-foot reach, and a high-contrast DuPont Mylar film-coated white blade. Plus, it comes in a high-impact resistant case. When every quarter-inch matters, these tapes are designed with your job in mind. New Irwin Command Lock Tapes, built for the trades. Available only at Canadian Tire stores across Canada. Find out more at irwintools.ca. This is All News Radio, 680 News. Plus one with some sunshine. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jeté. Here are the top stories right now.
Is that why you said Leger, Paul?
COVID-19 confirmation coming from officials at Eatonville Care Center in
Etobicoke.
Local health officials are now involved in trying to contain the outbreak. State of emergency extended. Minimal number of MPPs will pass legislation today at Queen's Park, extending measures to deal with the health crisis. And coming up after sports.
A slight easing of COVID-19 lockdown restrictions in Spain and Italy, but emergency measures are extended in France and India.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The
Fan. Mexico hasn't even started yet. You can't keep Mexicans out. No, you can't. So until they fucking quarantine, you all still have it.
Pouring cold water and all that yesterday. Kings defenseman Drew Doughty.
I don't see how the season is going to return. I really don't. We have no idea when this virus is going to be over. And then, we're all kind of just sitting at home, obviously hoping to return to the season.
Meanwhile, Commissioner Gary Bettman talked to
see how stupid he is. First he's telling us about the virus, like we're asking him about the virus. Obviously, we're waiting for the return to the season. No, everybody with a brain gave up on that, bro.
Was among the town's big.
So it ain't that obvious.
Incredible scenes in Battleford,
Don't
Saskatchewan,
talk.
hometown of the late Colby Cave. Family members arrived home to find cars lined up for literally miles to pay their respects. Thousands parked along the highway, some holding signs of support. Cave passed away of a brain bleed over the weekend. He was 25. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Times.
Johnson. And in the little tiny words, not to be confused with Johnson and Johnson. Thank you, Wikipedia, for making it very clearly that you sent me to the wrong fucking page. Not to be confused with S.C. Johnson and Son. I'm thinking S.C. Johnson Wax. Can we fucking just, I want to know what fucking products you make, motherfucker.
We can take this moment to reflect on how much we have to be grateful for. I wish you and your family only peace and good health.
Stop the spread. COVID-19 can be deadly. Everyone must act now. We must stop the spread to protect our families, our friends, our neighbors, and especially our most vulnerable. You may be unintentionally putting others at risk with your actions. Protect others. Stay home. Save lives. Do your part and act now. Visit ontario.ca/coronavirus.
Racist fat white girl downstairs.
Paid for by the government of Ontario.
I come into the lobby, there's people waiting for the elevator, so I wait a second, and instantly I'm being yelled at about not having a mask. We only want people in here with a mask. First of all, I've got the mask. Why are you yelling at the nigger only? There's two white people here not wearing masks, coughing.
One of their vehicles was damaged in the crash. One of the suspects has been taken to hospital with minor injuries. This is 680 News.
On top of that, they can't make that rule. They can't order you to wear a mask. That's no different than the fucking medical industry. If you don't get the flu shot, you have to wear a mask. No, they can't order that. That's not how that works. If you agree to it, that's your business.
Get back to normal in Italy, the once epicenter of the virus in Europe.
She's not a doctor.
Shops and businesses began to reopen.
I've never been introduced to her as an agent of the landlord.
From its
I don't know who the fuck she is. She's a trespasser, as far as I'm concerned.
This is all steps in the right direction. Reopening the economy. We've plateaued here in terms of the number of cases. The death rate is still high, but they say there's about a 20-day lag in that. And we're looking for these cases to go down. And the authorities are saying that the lockdown is working. We should see a decrease in cases, and more states will start to open up after that.
First in Spain, where some 1 million
We
people
already
are
had
back
this
to work today,
discussion
mostly
last
factory
year.
and construction workers for the first time since the
Oh,
pandemic.
there's a nigger with some
Spain
weed.
has recorded
Oh, all these other
a fall
people
of
with
nearly
weed are okay,
300
but I
active
can't have my
cases
weed.
in the last
Oh,
24
because it's
hours,
illegal. It's
suggesting
supposed to be
the number of
stupid,
new
right? It's not
recovered
illegal.
patients and dead are outnumbering
Oh, I'm
the
not talking about the
increase in new
17th of
cases.
October.
In France, the lockdown has been
Medical,
extended
which isn't
until
your
May
business. I have
11th.
sickle
Fun
cell,
and
so now you know I'm black.
reports life will be anything
So
but normal
yes,
on that
you
day.
know what I am.
Population will still be under the
Follow the
stay-at-home
logic.
order. Also,
I have
bars,
to
cafes,
disclose my
restaurants,
race
cinemas, museum, festivals, any place where large
to
numbers
explain the
of people
medical.
gather will be shut until at least mid-July.
And Indian Prime Minister
This
Narendra
woman
Modi has
screaming when
extended
I
that
say I'm
country's
black
nationwide
again.
lockdown until May 3rd.
Yesterday
But he
or
did
whatever.
say that
I
some
don't know
states
what
which
you
have
are. I don't
avoided
know
it
what you
may
are.
be allowed to
Really?
resume
Because that's
important
twice you picked me out of a group of
activities.
fucking
Reported live,
people.
Mark
Eh?
680 News.
I'm the only
680
nigger in
News
the
time,
group.
7:20. Hello, it's Jeff from Reliance Home Comfort. We know things are uncertain right now, but if you need
Are you
furnace,
kidding?
hot
Things
water,
are
or
fucking
plumbing help,
gravy,
we're
bro.
here for you. Understanding the seriousness
I'm watching
of the
white
current
people shit their
situation,
pants all
we're
over the
taking great
place.
pains to make sure that any visit to your home is safe. For you, as
You're
well
not
as our
visiting my
Reliance
home.
team members.
I don't
So
hire
if you
people to
find
fix
yourself
shit.
in need of a heating or plumbing professional, we're
The
here
book's
for
right
you
here. Where is
24
it?
hours a day, 7 days a week. As always, when you need help you can trust, just call on Reliance.
Your home is more than just a place to live. It's your window of opportunity. With a home equity loan from Capital Direct, your home can provide valuable equity that will give you the freedom to complete those renovations, support your business, or simply get your debt in line. An easy call to 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL will open the doors to all the good things you thought were beyond your reach as a homeowner. So pick up the phone and call 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL today. CapitalDirect.ca.
680 News Time 7:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Up we go at Shopper 680. Where are you flying, Jordan?
Well, I'm just lying over Young and Finch right now, looking down at an absolutely empty Finch commuter lot. This commuter lot is massive on either side of Young and Finch. To get to the TTC station here, to get downtown, a lot of people park here, but not right now. The past few weeks, it's just been empty, and it is especially desolate today. Basically, no cars. You can see maybe 4 or 5 parked here in this massive lot on either side of Young. Now, the 401, they have a bit of construction.
Oh yeah, there's people that own houses, own cars, and still ride the damn subways, just like New York, eh?
On the East 401 approaching Meadowvale have cleared. The 680
These
traffic
pretty
center
boy
is
pussy
east
hole
of
homo rappers
Still very quiet
fucking
if you're on the
making
QEW
comments
Gardner
about riding the
combination. Eastbound
TTC.
403 at York, the right lane is closed off. That's all because of construction.
Only people I know that don't ride the TTC are the police.
Closed for construction. St. Louis Bar and
Not
Grill,
even
thank you
joking.
for supporting local businesses, including our local St. Louis restaurant through takeout and delivery.
Transport that cocaine. Transport that
Keeping
cocaine.
us all safe.
TTC.
Next report is at 7:31. Here's a check on the extended forecast with Jill Taylor. Well, it looks good now, but don't be fooled. It's a cool, unsettled day. There's a chance of flurries or showers. The guaranteed high just 6 degrees. The average high is 12. Low near -2. It'll feel like -7 and more of the same for Wednesday and Thursday. Cool, an unsettled stretch of weather. Right now, it feels like -6. Mainly sunny, -1 at Fearsome, +1 and sunny at 680 News.
Wait, what?
Guaranteed
-1
high,
plus 1
6.
minus 6.
And
Fuck
because
you.
Jill did not miss the weather guarantee yesterday,
Yeah,
the
this
jackpot
fucking
climbs
fat
to
racist white bitch. Are you gonna hit me?
$400
My hands are full of stuff. Like,
confirmed dead due to
yeah,
COVID-19
let me put it down somewhere, but not on the floor here. I don't know, maybe I'll put it all in this hand and then, yeah, I'll hit you.
News time,
because
7:23.
That's the stereotype. Black guys hitting white guys.
and we're talking business.
No, I was talking about you fitting
white
into
people
this
tell
Kubota
each other. I'm the hood. Don't
033
hear that
mini
in the hood.
excavator.
Well, I'm far from mini, Bill.
This Kubota Mini X has a roomy and comfortable cabin so anyone can fit in it. It's no wider than its tracks, so it squeezes easily into tight spaces. And with an extended boom, it outperforms all other Mini X's in its class.
Sounds like me at the gym.
Right.
Kubota at Coy Brothers.
KOOYBROS.com.
I know the facts of the matter. I'm the tenant, the mafia dude's the landlord. Everybody in between is just an employee. I don't give a fuck, you won't be here long.
Trending this morning on
You
social
don't live here, you
media,
don't own the building,
hashtag
so
once things
okay,
get
what you
back
think.
to normal.
Our Jeff Verholman has some of the top posts.
I mean, we're all fantasizing about when this is all done and we can regain some semblance of normalcy, right? Going to the bar, going out for dinner, going to the Dome for a Jays game. But people on Twitter are getting a bit more creative with the hashtag once things get back to normal, one of the top trends this morning. Regina writing,
people didn't like anything at all ever 6 months ago.
Until they can't stand it anymore. I'm going to get dressed again for meetings, and I liked the 20-something who wrote, once things get back to normal, I'll be 84. But my favorite, Dan, writing, I hope to buy 2-ply again. I'll tell you the first thing I'm doing, I'm getting a haircut. I'm Jeff Verholman.
This is 680 News. The beer store says it can start accepting electronic payments again at most locations after a major data breach last month. The store was hacked March 26th, forcing many locations to switch to cash-only payments, which has not been the preferred method amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
These guys look like Darth Vader, like Casey Jones. They got their fucking skull bandana, the hockey face shield, and of course long sleeves and everything, dressed all in black.
Isn't going anywhere.
And then you got, buddy, he's handing money to me. There's a plexiglass window. This guy's handing me. I feel like it's a drug deal, man. He's handing the money through the slot. I'm like taking it carefully.
To monitor those already well on their way to starting a family. When Canada is back up and running strong, count on New Life Fertility Centre to be there, helping to ease the financial burden of IVF treatment. Until then, New Life wishes you good health. Stay safe.
The coronavirus pandemic has created a dramatic new world. It's a really weird time with lots of uncertainty. People are at home, self-isolating and social distancing. And we'll talk about it all on Frequency Podcast Network's The Big Story. Join me, Jordan Heath Rollins.
Social distancing. No, we're on the physical distancing. No, bro, that was last week. It's Tuesday. Okay, so the last time we said social distancing was the 3rd, and on the 6th we switched to physical. You're behind the times, bro.
680 News Time.
I am mentally distancing from all these people.
With Mike Apple. What's going on, Mike?
We're just looking over this latest forecast in from Royal LePage this morning on Canadian real estate, and we're trying to.
Who's going to sell it to?
They basically went through the first quarter and now the.
All your work and what you should be focused on is the fucking estates, transferences of wealth that are going to happen. That's it.
Or in this case, the real estate market. Royal
and all these people whose houses are getting repossessed because they're borrowing money out there.
The strict stay-at-home restrictions remain in place, and that will determine where the nationwide housing market goes this year. There was a lot of pent-up demand in the first quarter of the year, and we certainly saw that in prices spiking in the first couple of months and in the first week or so of March here in Toronto. But things obviously cooled off dramatically in the later stages of last month, and that is persisting through the current quarter. Some of the interesting statistics from Royal LePage, and this I kind of found surprising. Home search activity, browsing MLS for properties for sale. Searches down 20%, so people aren't necessarily going online and looking around for a new home.
I thought they were going to say it was up. I thought for sure it was going to say up because they're at home, bored.
Open houses reduced to almost zero nationwide, again with those stay-at-home restrictions. Some realtors are using Zoom conferences to do open houses.
We're not all going to switch to some new company that used to put ads on urinals. We're not doing it.
Open houses may be one of the last things to actually return to normal when we're looking at the outlook for real estate. Best case scenario, prices up 1% for the year, down 3% on the worst case. But again, there's going to be variables on a city-by-city basis.
Really?
Interesting stats.
You think the Canadian dollar's value is against the U.S. dollar?
With the Dow futures up 250 points, this on some earnings in from Johnson & Johnson and
It's
JP
not
Morgan
3%.
Chase.
You're looking at 30%.
Again, these numbers are skewing so much because of the abrupt shutdown of the global economy that it's difficult to draw a comparison, but it's all about the
all the drugs you have make people puke, right?
Of Amazon hit a record high in
all the drugs I have
on the boom
make it so you don't
e-commerce sales activity. The Dow futures up 250 at the Business Center. I'm Mike Apple.
You can keep your drugs.
Hi, it's Tony Chapman, host of the podcast Chatted Matters. Thanks to the incredible support of RBC, we're focusing on the heart of the Canadian economy, small businesses. We'll travel across Canada, meet different owners, learn about their dreams and what's happened since COVID-19 has shut down our economy.
didn't shut down our economy, brethren. You're not listening.
Life savings and launching a mobile meditation studio called meditationworks.com, only to find that the wheels of her business have fallen off. We'll take her story to Canada's top thinkers to provide Tracy and you with powerful insights, ideas, and inspiration. Download Chatter That Matters wherever you get your podcasts. And thanks again to RBC for your support of Small Business Matters.
When you need to know, now.
680news.com.
Our meteorologist Jill Taylor's latest forecast calling for a mainly cloudy day with some sunny breaks, chance of a few flurries or showers, and a 680 News guaranteed high of 6. Our jackpot, by the way, at $21,400. For tomorrow, some sunshine to start, then mainly cloudy and a high near 5. Right now, +1, sunny in downtown Toronto. 680 News time, 7:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Paul Cook and Catherine Jeté.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 14th.
Here's what's making news right now.
The latest outbreak of COVID-19 is at a long-term care facility in Etobicoke, where over 24 residents have died so far.
A select number of MPPs will gather at Queen's Park today to extend Ontario's state of emergency by another 28 days to help slow the spread of COVID-19.
A new poll finds many of us are willing to live under these extreme restrictions until significant progress is made in getting the virus under control. While in Saskatchewan, they're talking about a return to normal.
Kings defenseman Drew Doughty doesn't think the NHL will be able to finish this season.
Drinking vodka in fields.
How long players will need to get back into shape.
Babysitting marijuana plants. What do you do?
This morning trending higher with earnings in from Johnson & Johnson and JP Morgan Chase. Amazon testing a record pre-market business at 56.
680 News time, 7:31.
Time for 680 News traffic and weather together on the ones for Hire the Gardener up in Chopper 680. Here's Jordan Kerr.
Not much happening right now, but we do have a bit of construction eastbound on the 401 approaching Meadowvale. The express to collector transfer is closed down. Once you're coming down the southbound DVP down to Eglinton, on the right shoulder, there's a stalled truck getting to the 427 and 407 right now. Looking down the 427 from Zenway all the way down towards the Gardner. It's looking good. No issues pass along. From the 680 Traffic Center, Eva Francescatos.
Well, overall, moving quite well on the QEW and the Gardner Expressway. No delays, no problems at all to report. Everything is moving well on all of those routes. We don't have any collisions or any delays, so everything, again, is moving quite well at this time. Yes,
we're all sitting at home listening to the traffic report, eh? The only guy going anywhere is in a helicopter. There's nothing, nobody.
At HireTheGardener.com. That's Hire the Gardener.
Tell us when the lights change color, bro.
Next report is at 7:41.
Is it green right now? No, let me know when it turns
It's still
green.
quite breezy for us today, and there is a possibility of showers or flurries. Pretty good chance of that. We'll have to watch that. Right now, it feels like -6. It's mainly sunny, -1 if you're some +1, and sunny at 680 News. Our guaranteed high today, only 6.
680 News time, 7:32.
Breaking news from Etobicoke, where a long-term care home has confirmed 25 of its residents have died due to COVID-19.
680's Carl Hansky joins us live from Eatonville Care Center, where health officials have now been called in to help contain the outbreak. Carl.
Yeah, Paul, a notice on the front door of the Eatonville Care Center here in the East Mall says outbreak alert. 25 residents in this long-term care home have died from COVID-19. 49 more have tested positive for the virus. 6 others are awaiting results. The outbreak means no visitors allowed. Relatives can't come see their loved ones.
It's heart-wrenching.
Having to wave at them through the glass and not being able to hug them or talk to them.
And I mean, I did have grandparents in the home. They were sad all the time until you came to see them, so it's sad.
It expects more residents will test positive for COVID-19 in the coming weeks. Toronto Public Health is working with this facility to try and contain the outbreak. Reporting live in Etobicoke, Carl Hansky, 680 News.
680 News time 7:33. A limited number of provincial politicians will be at Queen's Park today to pass legislation to extend the coronavirus.
All these regular-ass people are headed straight to the same path. If they live long enough, they're going to be in those same houses. But they're going to be twice as crowded.
Of hope in the effort to slow down the spread of COVID-19 in Ontario. He says restrictions are working and therefore need to stay in place for at least another 28 days. Ford admits some people are tiring of home isolation and the shutdown of businesses, but it's too early to ease those emergency
That's why
measures.
It's voluntary. it would take more labor to enforce it if it was
What happens
mandatory.
if we do that, and all of a sudden this comes back and bites us in the backside and just comes back with vengeance, or another wave comes through? I'd rather be safe than sorry. I want to be
like
cautious.
influenza does, and
The vast
HIV.
majority of people are abiding by the restrictions. Ontario continues to see new COVID-19 cases, but not a massive surge, and hospitalizations have remained fairly steady. To ensure the 2-meter physical distancing, only 28 of the 124 MPPs representing all parties will be in the legislature for today's afternoon session. They will also be debating development charges on idle construction
People don't
projects
show up most
and
days.
suspending OSAP student loan payments. At Queen's Park, Kevin Meisner, 680 News.
680 News Time, 7:34. Lots of debate among politicians, health officials, business leaders, and the general public on when we should hit the restart button on the COVID-19 pause. It's the subject of a new public opinion poll. Our Jamie Pulver joins us live with
How
the
about when the
findings.
disease is gone?
Yeah, Paul, many of us are willing to live under these extreme physical distancing and workplace
Dengue
restrictions
fever,
until
malaria,
significant
typhoid
progress
fever,
is made in getting the
cholera,
virus under
Ebola,
control. The new Leger poll finds 29% of Canadians believe that restrictions should only be lifted once the country is free of any new cases for at least 2 weeks. And just over 20% want to wait for a vaccine. We've heard a lot of talk about the Western provinces.
Because vaccines have been proven to work somehow. At some point,
talking about a return to normal.
some study nobody's ever published, they were proven to
There's a
work.
reason for complacency.
They were
But it is a
tested for
reason
efficacy at
cautious
some point.
optimism. And it means that we can start to think about what the process of reopening Saskatchewan will look like.
We didn't know you were closed,
says
bro.
that plan could be released as early as next week, saying they had just 2 new cases yesterday and that 60% of those infected in the province have since recovered. A much different story
Yeah,
in
but you don't know
Quebec
if
and
they're
Ontario,
contagious or not.
with
We
the
still
majority
haven't
of the
fucking figured
country's
that out.
25,000 cases still trying to get these outbreaks under control. Reporting live, Jamie Pulver.
You know, they
680
phrased the
News.
question. Oh, no new cases for 2 weeks.
Despite the
Okay.
growing number of
I've
people
had an
on
active
the
case for
unemployment
4
lines,
weeks.
the real estate
I've had
market
an active
is
case for 4
expected to
weeks.
show remarkable resilience
I'm walking around
this year.
free as
The
a bird.
outlook from Royal LePage predicts where prices go will depend on how long the strict stay-at-home restrictions have to stay in place. We get the latest from Mike Epple at the Business Center.
There are a
I do what
lot
I
of
have to
shifts in the forecast. Best case scenario, national home prices will climb 1% for the year. That's if the stay-at-home restrictions are lifted in the second quarter. If the pandemic persists through the summer, well, then prices nationwide could fall 3%, according to the Royal LePage outlook. At the start of the year, prices were expected to rise more than 3%, so it is
Based
a
on
major
what?
downdraft from that. The mitigating factor for the market, the low levels of homes currently for sale, which will be balanced by the slowing sales activity. Phil Soper, President and CEO of Royal LePage, says there will be some distressed properties sold at lower price points that should, though, be a proxy for the overall market. Some of the other metrics, home search activity, browsing MLS, searches down 20%, home showings down more than 2/3, and open
everybody's
houses
got
reduced
access
to almost
to the internet.
zero nationwide, something that may be the last thing to actually return to normal. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Epple.
680 News
Oh,
Time,
now the real estate bubble is
7:37.
normal.
Health
It's been a
officials are
bubble
constantly
for a
reminding
year
us to be
now.
mindful of physical distancing.
Oh,
But what about
boy.
the city's
Yeah, look
cramped
at it.
sidewalks? Mark McAllister of City News looks at whether Toronto's streets are roomy enough for COVID-19 safety.
There's been
Doesn't
suggestions
matter.
for
Pedestrians have the right of way on the road.
closing lanes of traffic for pedestrians, but city officials
You don't have to close the lane. As soon as I step in the lane, the car has to let me pass, period. So you don't need to close the lane.
Sidewalk congestion should not be
And the
a
drivers aren't
significant
stupid. They
issue
got
at this
AM
time.
radios.
If
They
in fact
know.
people are
COVID.
following
They
the
know.
advice to stay home as much as possible.
By law enforcement and Toronto police have been out trying to make sure
They know
people
from
keep
our
their
address
distance
if
in
they
our
don't clear
parks.
to go around me, I'll fuck their car up. And that's gonna be way more expensive and problematic. Anything else right now? Oh, busted window. That's nothing, normally.
So will the
You can't get it
NHL be
fixed.
able to finish
Rainy
the season
season.
even in the
Crazy
summer?
bums sticking
Players
their
have
head in every
typically been
fucking time.
reluctant
Oh, yeah,
to
they know.
voice
Oh,
an
somebody smashed the
opinion.
window. Hey,
But one
somebody
star
smashed the
player
window,
wasn't
eh?
afraid to say he's pessimistic. Our Simon Bennett has the latest from the NHL.
Drew Doughty is the star defenseman for the Los Angeles Kings. He didn't hold back on his thoughts regarding a possible resumption of the current
You don't need to
NHL
close the
season.
lanes. Look at me. I'm dressed in orange jumpsuit.
It's going to return. I really don't. We have no idea when this virus is going to be over. We're all kind of just sitting at home, obviously hoping to return to the season.
Meanwhile, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman not ruling out any options of a return as possible, even neutral site games. He spoke with CNN's Anderson Cooper.
We're exploring and want to be prepared for every option, whatever the circumstances present themselves. So we haven't ruled anything in. We haven't ruled anything out.
Never ruled anything in.
2 to 3
What?
weeks to get into shape.
You guys need to stop talking.
I'm Simon Bennett.
Play video game sports or something. Don't talk. You're not talkers.
680 News Time, 7:30.
Remember how you didn't pass school except you played sports? Right. Shut up. Stop talking.
Don't get mad. Call Northwood Mortgage. Northwood Mortgage takes a closer look at your financial picture. Property equity, past record, the promise of performance, and more. Northwood Mortgage does everything they can to approve the mortgage you need. That's their business. Northwood Mortgage.
You still didn't find out what Johnson & Johnson is.
City streets, southbound Bay approaching Adelaide. There's a collision in the right lane. Eastbound Finch from Sentinel to Kiel. The right lane is blocked for construction.
680 News Time, 7:40.
Hi, I'm Cherry Tab, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. Our eyes play such an important role in the spread and prevention of COVID-19. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wash your hands often, and be vigilant about cleaning
These
door
idiots are
handles
wearing
and
gloves
other
and a mask,
surfaces that
and
are
they keep
touched
touching. They're
frequently.
touching
If you
everything.
wear
They're touching their
contact
clothes.
lenses,
They're touching
consider
their
wearing
face.
your glasses.
Why are you wearing?
Your
What's the
health
point?
is what matters most to us.
You are the
Google
biggest
high-definition
cross-contaminator
vision
in the
and sign up
room,
for my
bro.
blog so we can stay connected. Look after yourself. Promise me.
Need something to watch? Binge your way to boredom with City TV Now.
Where would you like to go?
Full seasons of the shows you love. Streaming now and ready to go.
I'm pregnant.
Sure it's yours? I got a fire in there. From Chicago Wednesday to Family Guy, Modern Family to Mom, we've got what you're looking for. Even Hudson and Rex. Good boy. City TV Now. On demand. The City TV app. And at citytv.com. Get it like now.
680 News Time, 7:41.
Time for 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones for CIBC. Up we go to Chopper 680. Here's Jordan Kerr.
I just arrived on scene in this crash in Brampton. Main Street is still closed.
How'd you get to Brampton so quick, bro?
And Archibald, that's between Queen and Williams Parkway because of collision cleanup. Southbound is partially open. The right lane's able to get through, but this is ready to clear up. It should all reopen shortly. And eastbound on the 401, a new issue at Dixie and the Collectors. Right lane blocked, and the northbound Dixie ramp to the eastbound 401 has the right lane blocked off. It's all because of a stalled vehicle. With the 680 Traffic Center, Eva Crouches-Gatos.
Now, if you're using that eastbound 403 at York, right lane is blocked off because of construction. There's no delay at all as you make your way through there. QEW east and westbound looks pretty good, no issues. Need mortgage advice? Connect with a CIBC mortgage advisor and get it done remotely together. Learn how at CIBC.com/mortgages. Next report is at 7:51. Here's a check on the regular forecast with Jill Taylor.
It looks good now, plenty of sunshine, but things are going to change. It's an unsettled day with the possibility of flurries or showers and a gusty southwest wind. The guaranteed high, only 6 degrees. The average high is 12. Tonight, partly cloudy, -2. It'll feel like -7, and then only 5 for the high. Tomorrow we'll have some sunshine to start, and then turning mainly cloudy again. Right now, sunshine, -1 appears, some +1 with sunny sky at 680 News. Feels though like -6. Our guaranteed high today, +6.
680 News Time, 7:43.
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute.
Over to Mike Epple at the 680 Business Center. How's it look there, Mike?
I got markets at the best of the morning right now, Paul, with Dow futures higher by more than 300 points. As investors are looking over some of the earnings in this morning from Johnson & Johnson and JP Morgan Chase, the metrics are tough to decipher because, of course, much has changed just over the past several weeks. But nevertheless, some of the results are
Your whole job is deciphering the metrics.
Actually pick up a little bit. Or accelerates from the earlier levels.
Since you work for the radio,
the price for oil is down 2.25%. There's been no resiliency whatsoever in the energy trade despite OPEC's production cuts. The price for gold is down $4 now at $17.58 per ounce U.S. Our dollar hovering just below 72 cents U.S. The Business Center. I'm Mike Epple.
In times like these, we could all use advice, especially when it comes to investing. Advice matters now more than ever. Speak to a financial advisor and learn more at dynamic.ca/advice.
Still to come on 680 News.
This is what it's come to.
Closing in on Victory and that coveted prize of being told she's a very good dog.
No sports means dog play-by-play is a thing.
680 News Time 7:44.
And there's a guy out
Make your
there
city great.
who's been training for that job, bro.
Hi, it's Sarah Parrott. By supporting
It's the
locals,
guy
you can
who's
help
been
keep the places you
practicing. He's
love
got
open.
demo
From shopping
tapes and everything.
online, signing up for online classes, or even ordering takeout. It all starts with you.
To submit or find a local business to support in your area, visit 680news.com/support local.
Operation Support Local. We're all in this together.
In partnership with Scotiabank Small Business Banking. In uncertain times, you can be certain we'll be here. While you are hopefully staying safe and healthy, many of you are probably at home.
Stay
Maybe
safe.
use the time to spring clean, like an old car taking up space in
Last
your
night, I
garage.
knew exactly
When you
where that
donate
came
your
from.
car to
Stay
Cars
safe.
for Kids, that old car lives on. By giving kids a chance to succeed, you can donate online in the comfort of your home, and the pickup can be contact-free. You'll receive a tax credit. See for yourself how simple it is.
Were
Go
you
to
sending guys out
carsforkids.ca
before and like
or
touching
call
people? Oh, thanks for the
877
car.
Cars for Kids now to donate. Remember, that's Cars with a K.
Yeah, that bugs me too.
News Radio, 680 News.
It'll be mainly cloudy
The
today
advertising on the
with
radio
a guaranteed
gets
high
spelled
of 6
funny.
degrees. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Catherine Jete.
I'm Paul Cook. Here are the top stories this Tuesday morning.
An Etobicoke nursing home says
Spell out
25
Canada.
of
They
its
spell out
residents
Canada,
have
but they
died
don't
of
spell out half these
COVID-19.
made up
The statement
names they
from the
use.
Eatonville Care Center on the East Mall near Burnhamthorpe
Times
says
I
it
said I
has
want to look it up, but I
49
don't know how to spell
confirmed
it.
cases of the virus with 6 results still pending.
A handful of MPPs returned to Queen's Park today to pass legislation extending the provincial state of emergency for another 28 days.
Most Canadians are willing to stay physically distanced.
Every time you do that, it
Many
increases
tell
the
you
chances
they
Trudeau
want to
might
see
send me more
significant
money.
progress in the fight against COVID-19 before people are sent back to work.
For these and others.
Oh, I'm sick as I'm pretty sure it's COVID-19. Yeah, I'm sick as fuck. All the symptoms line up with COVID-19. I haven't been tested because there's no point.
Well, first the question is, will the NHL be able to finish the season?
I've
And of
had-
course,
I've
it's
had,
too early now to really know. But opinions are ranging. Kings of Drew
fever,
Dowdy on a conference call
nausea,
yesterday saying he doesn't see how the NHL
hoarse voice, sore throat, difficulty swallowing, confusion, difficulty waking.
And it seems like it's going to be pretty tough to resume the season.
You even get like runny nose and shit. Like the whole everything to do with breathing gets fucked up. The lungs are irritated.
Cooper, he believes players would need 2 to 3 weeks to
Throat's
get back into playing
irritated.
shape.
The
He
nose is
also said
irritated.
that no options have been ruled out, including the potential for neutral site games. Looks like the Tour de France will not start on time. It was scheduled to begin June 27th, but French President Emmanuel Macron canceling all public events with big crowds through mid-July. So there's no way now. Organizers expect plans to be announced by the end of the month, with rumors they may ride in August instead. And if
No,
Panthers star Christian McCaffrey
these
reportedly
cyclists are
agreeing to a
crazy.
huge
They
deal
will
with
have
Carolina,
their race,
4 years,
whether they are
$64 million.
spectators
That
or
would make
not.
him the highest paid running back in the NFL. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time 7:47.
Hi, Tom Rokicki here of Inline Fiberglass Windows and Doors. I am proud to be living and working here in the Greater Toronto area. All of us are so lucky and blessed.
I don't know where it's going, but it's heavy. It's got to be going that way. Probably. Not necessarily. It's loaded full of salt. Oh, what did I just do? Did I break the machine? I might have broken the machine. Pretty sure I pressed play, but nothing's happened. Why is everything broken? What the fuck?
I want you, oh Lord, me tell you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Shot one time. What? What? Take him out, bring him out dead. Westwood, hit him in the head. 1 gun, 2 gun, 3 gun, 4. You're 5. It's all about crime. Yo, murder. Who the hell heard of them? Westwood, put your blanket them. Can't follow me, murder. We never have peace. We make a black tape. Come on. Jump in the black sheep. We run the black. Oh, God. Fuck the team. Say the niggas can't play. No way. The shit he plays. I speak the sex. No way. That's the black queen. Yeah. England. And everything the linger thing. What we bringing is the demon in the fiend for the views. Move, get ugly on the views. Yeah. We just choose it. So burn the flag. Cause I'm on that rebel shit. The level kick 10 pounds on the ass. Yeah. Pass when you drag. To the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. Put, go on. Yeah. Red, what? Fall it down. What? Fall it down. Let the president's falling down. DJ Westwood, that's fucking crazy. Fight for kicks. Hit the Westwood whip. What? The DJ
10 hours. Notification just pop up since 10 hours ago somehow.
Now you can't get the chance to get new music in that style. He's scratching, putting it back in blue bruises, cruising practice. No wonder I tune that radio show jam. Phones get slammed, bow. Ooh, it hurts so bad when I smile. Because the honest on the crowd. And joke, you know now. The decorations falling down. What falling down? What falling down? The decorations falling down. Westwood is all crazy. Muggling up a red. Cha-cha-cha. Now it's time to get live. With Westwood the best. Come on. Feel the vibration from the station. The pumping frustrations in the nation. Why the bridges falling down? They falling down. Why they falling down? The bridges falling down. The God of with the wrong nigga brother. The rap up for the mother. Plus the cap for Westwood, you ain't no other. Pull the string to shade your lady, pray for your maker. 2 in the heart, a flip in the head. Radio, picture wearing up Westwood. You can get your ass buried. Cause when it's a full moon, you get a chill in his mind. Every loser his mind, picking a shovel and nickel plate at night. The blood clot warrior, roster imposter. You sweat Westwood and may not know why. Going up from Westwood, you just don't die. Either crazy like sticking on your motherfucking marijuana. I want some marijuana. You're on Westwood.
You hear that shit, bro? Oh, yeah. Dry cough. Sounds wet, but it's dry. They've been selling beer for the past hour. Oh, yeah. 7 in the morning, they're selling beer in my jurisdiction. Oh, yeah. It's Mexico North now. This needs to go away from my screen. Go away. How does it have a notification from 10 hours ago?
Double G, TBA, LOWRYZ, hey. And we don't play, motherfucker. It's like, I mean, that's it. fucking smoke too much. Hey yo, I'm getting stomach pain. I'm getting pain in the brain. It's driving me insane from things that I did last night to drink. It's what I'm saying, man. You gotta understand. I got no chain to swing. Go just fucking look at the things. I'm working 9 to 5, and that's what.
Oh, for fuck! Now what? Did it skip or not skip? This whole machine is fucked up. Okay, that works.
I smoke angel dust and watch the angels bust. I ain't got no trust like the angels must. I'm so flavorful, they so plain on us. Run away.
Next time somebody asks,
watch my gator truck.
next time somebody,
Even outside the restaurant, they gotta wait on us. Then we freeze.
you know, there's no fucking point in me, bro. You might as well just cut the video out at this
We
point.
some kind of dangerous. My truck pit, that's where the bangers bust. We bomb on, then you hater fuck. Sell your potato, then make your tater butt. Yeah, I'm still smoking on the angel dust. Not drug promoting, I'm an angel, keep my halo dust. Say little fuck, I'm so high, can hear heaven. And I bet you not rolling 7. Like I'm rolling 7. Rolling with my brethren, high as a kite. Suggest you get paranoid, finger on the trigger when you hear noise. Don't come fuck with the fairy, boys. Won't get fucked from the fairy, boys. Need a new teeth, watch the women hang on us. Like I said, C3, a new leaf, we're so dangerous. I smoke angels just to watch the angels fuck. I ain't got no trust but the angels must.
Next time somebody asks if I have COVID-19, I'm gonna ask them how much do they want. Which one you get? The COVID? Really? How much you need, bro?
They gotta wait on us, and we free. It's no change on us. C3 and new leaf, we so fucking dangerous. Oh, my mind is going through those changes. I'm only comfortable in the company of strangers. I'll tell you I'm an orphan after you meet my family. Half the time, even my family can't stand me. I'm a Martian, right on a Martian flight. Just trying to find another Martian life. I fear I'll die alone, a stone on a deserted beach. No, I can teach, so I just do. And my mind is better than sin that makes me better than you. And I don't make the rules, so don't get pissed. My life is fine, and you live in shit deep. The natural law, only strong survive. And I don't just survive, I multiply. And I don't just lie with it.
What the fuck is with this shit, man?
Rear view, can't see none of y'all bastards in the rear view. I ain't got no trust, but the angels must. I'm so flavorful, they so plain on us. Run away, they go park the plane on us. Watch my gator truck, you hater fuck. Even outside the restaurant, they gotta wait on us. And we free, ain't no change on us. C3 and new leaf, we so fucking dangerous. I'm sicker, a combination of symptoms that hits you quicker than liquor. I'm fitting to leave you all feeling like victims. Genocide on my mind, I'm thinking like Hitler. Need nobody like Osama. I'm rocking multi-generations at your mama. I'm a president, no Obama. Feed up, weed cut, roll the ganja. Mr. C3, no mystery, me be history. See, sit a grip, take a pic.
It's literally, it's on this fucking cycle
so
here.
sick, that's how I roll.
You doing fucking
Always got a couple hungry bitches begging from the bone, and your chicks begging at the phone, begging for a begging in her hole. I go deep like a mole, and I ain't fussy. I love all the pushy, the angel rush me. I ain't got no trust, but the angels must. I'm so flavorful, they so plain on us. Run away, they go park the plane on us. Watch my gator truck, you hater fuck. Coming in outside the restaurant, they gotta wait on us.